Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yes. I don't know. No, we should.
Assalamu alaikum, class. How are you all doing?
Good.
Good.
I just get only one wa alaikum assalam. I don't get like a excited wa alaikum assalam. Zaid, are you there? Maisha and Musa?
Yes.
Unmute and talk to me, okay? We have like 5 to 10 minutes of interacting. I have Mariam here. Mariam, say assalamu alaikum. So, is there anything that you want to share before we start our class?
No.
No? Oh my God, no. Why? Zaid? Come closer.
Can this be anything?
Mhm.
So I live in Texas. So now it's finally warm. Was for so long.
Okay. How about you, Musa? Is the spring there?
I don't have anything to share.
Okay. How about you, Maisha? Is it still winter at your place? Or is it spring?
It's spring.
It's spring, yeah, finally. Iman?
Yeah.
And where are you from, Iman?
I'm from Houston.
Oh, you're from Houston, so it's pretty warm over there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. All right. So, well, do you know me? I'm
Yeah.
a teacher. My name is Bushra Aziz. And today I'm going to take your class. And hopefully, from here on, I think we have like about 3 or 4 classes. And inshallah, I will take them since your teacher is not feeling well. So, I want you all to make dua for him so that he gets well soon. And, if he's available, then he will definitely take your classes. But if he's not, then inshallah, I will take the class. So, can anyone tell me what was taught last week?
We talked a little bit about the Jewish tribes.
The Jewish tribe, okay. And what else, Mariam?
Jewish tribes, and we talked about I think it was betrayal. Like it was like something happened. I can't remember, but it
Mhm.
was like betrayal. I think.
I like that word, betrayal. So let me. What I'll do is basically I will open up our whiteboard, and then we can start writing. Okay. So what did you all say? We talked about. Your teacher talked about the Jewish tribes, right?
Yeah.
Jewish tribes, and you also talked about betrayal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And did we talk about blasphemy?
Oh yeah, we did.
What is blasphemy?
It's like
It's
what?
what's it called?
Mhm. I want the other kids to talk to me too, okay? Please open up and talk to me. Because my style of teaching is when you interact with me, I like it. And since, I can't see your videos, I want you to keep on talking to me, okay?
I need to class today.
Thank you. Okay,
Call my
thank
hair.
you. So you talk about Jewish tribes, you talk about betrayal and blasphemy. Did you talk about how one of the Jewish tribe was trying to assassinate Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? No?
I don't think we did.
Do you know what is the meaning of assassination?
Yes.
Can you tell me?
Like when someone kills you.
But what is the
When someone tries to kill you secretly.
what is the difference between assassination, killing? Why do you not use killing?
An assassination is when you kill someone important, like the president.
Like Martin Luther King Jr., Abraham Lincoln, JFK. I think.
So you all know, right? There were two main tribes in Medina, right? And they were always like jealous of the Muslims. And even though, after Rasulullah came, Rasulullah was very, very kind and very, very, supportive of the Jews. He didn't impose our religion on them. The Jews were free to, follow their own religion and everything. They would come and argue with Rasulullah with so many things, but, Rasulullah was very, very patient. But then, these two tribes, now you should understand one thing, that when we mention Jews, we're not talking about Jews like right now. We're talking about Jews. This is Rasulullah's life, right? I mean, there can be people who are like enemies, like 100 years back, 1,000 years back, and now they're friends. So it doesn't mean that, when we mention Jews, you have to think like, oh, this is how Jews are. No, you're not supposed to think like that. This is the life of Rasulullah. Okay? See, I think you must have a friend who is a Jew. So please don't think that,
Principal is
So is Mrs. Taylor a Jew? Oh, I didn't know that. So Mariam says her principal is a Jew. So you should not think, oh, Jews in Medina, and then they were plotting and they were cunning. You should not think that different Jews are like that. All right. I need to get an okay. I should get an all right. All right. Okay.
okay.
So there were two tribes, right? What were the two tribes' names? Do you remember? Is there a tribe named Khazraj?
Yes.
And was there a tribe named Banu Nadir?
Yeah. Yeah, there was. That was what I remember because I remember that one was hard for me to say. But
So there were two tribes of Medina. So it's okay if you don't remember. It's perfectly all right. But you know that they're main tribes. Now tribes, in the sense, they were like in one tribe you would have like thousands of people. Tribe was like a family, So it's not like tribe means maybe like a 10 or 15 people. No, they were like thousands of people in one tribe. So they were pretty strong. So we were talking about assassination. What happened was Rasulullah, even though he was so kind and everything, these two tribes, they were very, very jealous. And one of the tribe, Banu Nadir, they plotted for an assassination, you know. But then, what happens is Allah protects the Rasul. Who is the Rasul here? Prophet Muhammad. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So Allah will protect the Rasul. So Rasulullah came to know about this plot. Now, what do you think would have happened? What do you think? Just if if the president of America finds out that somebody is trying to,
They try and stop it.
Hold on. So somebody just said something. Did Abdullah said something?
They tried and stop it. They tried to stop it.
Okay, let me write here. They tried.
That's on Lila.
You're saying? Okay, they try to stop it. They will try to protect the president. Okay, next. What else? No, thing like this, you know exactly who was trying to kill the president. So what would the president do now? Go on, Maria.
I think have contact with that person with a lot of bodyguards just in case.
They will have conference. Do you think they'll have conference?
Like,
What else?
They would discuss how they could stop it from happening, or maybe they would like take him out of America, so they couldn't get to him.
No. I'm not talking about what are we going to do to the president. I'm saying the person who was trying to kill the president was caught. So now what will happen to the guy who came out to kill the president?
He'll go to jail.
Jail. Okay. Next. What else?
You have to go to court, right? He'd have to go to court.
You'll have to go to court?
For his sentence.
Okay. Well, jail and court is related. What else? Have you heard about this word that I just wrote on the whiteboard?
Yeah, it's when you do something against your country, like someone being a terrorist and telling terrorist groups their secrets.
Okay. So basically, you are saying secrets, right? So basically, you are giving away the secrets of the country?
Yeah, no, you're doing something against your country.
Exactly. That's great. Going against the country. Okay. All right. What else? What else treason means? Yeah, betraying your country. Okay. Betraying the country, giving out the secrets. Right? So what happens in treason is, I know we are talking about very, very big words here, assassination, we're talking about treason. Now, we need to know these two terminologies or two words because this is exactly what Rasulullah had to go through. I mean, somebody was plotting to kill him and then, they found out, and Rasulullah being Rasulullah, he was commanded by
I have a question.
Yes.
How did they stop him from getting killed? Because both of the tribes were trying to kill him.
Yes, no, not both of the tribes. Only one tribe was planning to kill Rasulullah, but they found out, they just found out. It didn't happen like right when somebody was trying to attack Rasulullah and that's how they found out. No, they found out weeks in advance. Weeks in advance, they found out like, okay, these guys are plotting to kill us. And it came out in front of everybody. Now everybody knows, like everybody in Medina knew that Banu Nadir was actually plotting to kill Rasulullah.
What's the point of to kill him? Everybody already knows.
They came to know about it later.
Oh.
Okay, like they had a plan, like, okay, maybe on Wednesday, this is what we're going to do. They planned, they were like, okay, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But somehow, Rasulullah came to know about it later, before Wednesday. Make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, Roisin, Maisha, and Zaid, I want you to unmute and talk to me because you three are not interacting with me. Unmute. No, they're on both the sides. Okay. Thank you. Now, I want you all to talk to me because if I don't hear Z, you have to talk to me, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we are talking about treason. Usually, you know, this is going to be your homework. I'm going to write this down here. Okay, and then the text, color, we'll use the spotlight also. Okay, this is going to be your homework. I want you to know what happens in treason. Treason, like what kind of punishment is given to the person who's doing treason. Okay? Because I will also tell you this, but I want you to find it out in detail. All right?
Okay.
Now, in treason, what happens is like if you're betraying your country or you're going against your country, usually in America, in other parts of the world, it's a death penalty. What is death penalty?
When they go to court and they ask them questions, if they think they're guilty, they'll give them a sentence to death.
Yes, they will be sentenced to that. So mostly even in modern times. Now Rasulullah's time was 1500 years ago, right? Almost 1500 years.
Yeah.
Now, so even today, for treason, it is mostly death penalty. And now think that you are the messenger of Allah, and Allah has given you all the powers, right? Allah has given you all the powers. What do you think the Rasulullah would have done when he found out that this tribe was trying to kill Rasulullah?
I think he would just leave because I don't think he would want to kill anyone.
Exactly. You're right. Rasulullah, being the kindest and the noblest person ever born, it says, you know what? You were the citizens of Medina. You were the citizens of Medina.
Because
And then you plotted against me, against the Muslims. So I think you should not be the citizens. I think you should just leave the country. So Rasulullah chose not to kill them. Rasulullah sent them away out. Mm-hmm. So the Banu Nadir, they all were asked to leave the city of Medina. And they were asked, and you know what happened? Remember when the Muslims left Mecca, right? From Medina, when they do the hijrah, they have to leave everything behind, right? Their house, their belongings, and everything. And you know how Meccans, they took everything, you know, whatever belonged to them. Rasulullah didn't even do that. Rasulullah said, you can take whatever you want and go from here. Because you cannot plot against the country. Because you guys are doing treason. So Banu Nadir people, they took everything. They took everything. Rasulullah was so kind and compassionate, he let them go. And so Banu Nadir, they took even the log, because you know the houses are made up of wood and you know sticks and stones. So Banu Nadir, they also took that, you know. That's how Rasulullah was so kind. So, but you know what happened after that? Now, do you think Banu Nadir learned their lesson?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to say no.
No.
You said you know what, so I'm gonna put no.
Uh-huh. So Banu Nadir, did they learn their lesson after leaving Medina? Now, like, see, Rasulullah was so just, right? I mean, Rasulullah gave a very nice judgment. He said, you know, I don't want to kill anyone. Just you all go, just leave the city because you're plotting against the city, right? And Banu Nadir, you know, it was their mistake. It was not something that they did not do and they got punished, right? I mean, they did something, getting punished. Mm-hmm.
They're just getting the consequence.
Mm-hmm. So now Banu Nadir, what they do is they actually move out of Medina, start plotting again. Because they want to take revenge, like, oh, you know, we got caught, we don't care, we want to get revenge. So what Banu Nadir did was, the Jewish tribe, they went and met the enemy of Rasulullah. Who was the enemy of Rasulullah that time? The Quraysh, exactly. So now what happens? We have Banu Nadir. Oh, what are we doing? Okay. Banu Nadir goes to the Quraysh now. They go to Quraysh and they tell them that, oh, you know what? The Muslim is growing stronger in Medina. There's so many Muslims. They are preparing for war. It's so successful in Medina. So basically, they are instigating. And you know, Quraysh, every time Quraysh was waiting to attack Rasulullah, right? Waiting to attack Rasulullah, they were waiting to attack the Muslims. The Banu Nadir, what they did was, along with the Quraysh, they got the neighboring tribes of the other, you know, the Medina. Let me share a picture with you guys, okay? Hold on. Okay, so let me share the screen and tell me if you can see my screen. Stop sharing again. You see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, this, I will tell you what this is in a couple of minutes. But you see Medina here, right?
Yes.
And Makkah was somewhere here, okay? So now, what happened is basically the Banu Nadir, they were sent like north of the Medina. So they got all the tribes from here and Quraysh and everybody, and they had like about 10,000 men. Now this will lead to a battle. Now you see, I mean, this is so wrong. You have to kill the Rasulullah, and then what you do is Rasulullah found out he was kind not to kill all of you, and then he sent you away, and you were like, you want to plot more. Plotted against Rasulullah. Can you not draw on the screen, please? Thank you. So what Rasulullah, after Rasulullah sent them, the Banu Nadir tribe, they along with, oh my God. 2 minutes, guys. Let me just. Okay. So what happened now is Quraysh, you know, right, how Quraysh wanted money. They all wanted, like, the reason that they did not want to come into Islam was, like, you know, they were getting money out of, Hajj. So, like, oh no, we have so many gods. People give us this money because of the gods, and we don't want to accept Islam.
So the idols weren't real?
They knew it. That's why Allah calls them kuffar. Allah calls them, disbelievers. You know, there's a difference between disbelievers and non-Muslims. Who's a disbeliever?
Disbeliever follows like a different religion and knows that religion is not right. But a non-Muslim is like a Christian or a Jew or something like that who already has their religion and they believe in it with all their heart.
Mm-hmm. And so what do you think, Musa? You think this is the right definition? What is the meaning of a disbeliever? Who is a non-Muslim?
Yes.
Okay. How about you, Roshin?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Zaid?
Yes.
Who is a disbeliever?
A person who does not believe.
A person who doesn't
Does not believe. Who is not Muslim.
A disbeliever is the one who knows the truth but doesn't want to believe it. So the Quraysh, the Quraysh knew that, what Rasulullah was saying was true, but they just didn't want to believe it because they, our parents, our grandparents, they followed something else. We don't want to do this. Or they thought, we get tons of money from Hajj. Different people will come and pay money to different idols, and we are getting a lot of money. So, this business is going to be not there if you accept Islam. So that's why Allah called them disbelievers. And then they're non-Muslims. The Jews were non-Muslims. The Christians at that time were non-Muslims. Yeah, that's okay, right? Well, the Quraysh, we knew like Quraysh used to hate them and they used to hate Rasulullah. So now Quraysh, when they got the news that, tribes are all getting together, against Rasulullah, Quraysh didn't, and they thought like, if we get lots of men, what we can do is basically we take over Muslims and, we can finish off Muslims, take all their house, their belongings, their camels and their cattle, and everything is going to be ours. That is called as a war booty. Have you ever heard about this word?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what they were after things, So what they did was, along with all the tribes, 10,000 people got together. 10,000 is a big number. Okay, now 10,000 people are coming towards Medina now. You see this screen? Now 10,000 people along with Quraysh, the other Jewish tribes, whoever didn't like the Muslims and Rasulullah, they were planning on attacking Medina. And Medina had like about 3,000 people. Like, there were not many Muslims. Now, if you see here, do you see this part? That's Banu Qurayza. Do you see it?
Yeah.
In the rightmost corner at the bottom?
Yes.
The Banu Qurayza, remember there were two Jewish tribes, Banu Nadir and Banu Qurayza, right? Banu Nadir was asked to leave the city. There was one more Jewish tribe. And this Jewish tribe said that they are going to support the Muslims. And support the Muslims, man. So you know what? Now we come to our topic of today. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share my white screen. Whiteboard. Okay. So now now you know what is assassination, what is treason, what happens, So we come to our topic of today, that is the Battle of Trench. Now, it is also called Battle of Azab or Battle of Khandaq. Okay. Now, this is an English word, right? Trench. What is a trench?
Then you have a trench in the middle.
What is a trench?
Like this pit. It goes down.
If you have watched Disney movies, or even if you look at the Disney castle, around the Disney castle, you have like this big water, right?
A moat.
Exactly, a moat. So, have you seen it or not?
No.
So, like a trench is basically, let me draw. A trench is basically, it's like, if this is the city, okay, if this is the city, you basically dig out the ground, and then this is like very deep. This is like about 15 to 20 feet, broad, and then this is like basically a man cannot, once he gets in, he cannot climb back. It's like ladders and everything. This was, and I will show you pictures, okay? Understand what happened. And you should also understand why Rasulullah had to do this. Why this was Battle of Trench. Okay?
Well, I think I know this battle.
You know about this battle? That's great. I'm going to show you some pictures. And
What if a trench is really small?
This is very small, the one I'm looking at. Okay, I think I have a nice picture that I can show you. Okay, now let me share my screen again. Okay, can you see this picture?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you see how this is a soldier, right? So basically this is the ground, okay, and then you everything up. Well, the one that Rasulullah made was very, very big, you know, like this is only one man is standing, right? There you will have like a big one, and you know it's actually more than this height. If this guy is maybe 6 feet, the trench would be around 10 feet. So what happens is, like, you know, the enemy, when you build a trench, let me show you more pictures. Um, Here, this is an actual picture from World War One. You see the they're basically underground. What happens is you get protected from the enemy's, you know, fire and weapons, and the enemy cannot come here. See, this is a trench. This is a proper trench. You see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
Do you see it or not?
Yes.
So now you see how they have dug this out of earth? It's like a ditch. So that is called as a trench. Let me look at more trenches. This is good. How about this one? Make sense?
Yeah.
Make sense now?
Yes.
This is a trench. Like, you know, this was like the trench from the World War II. People actually can sleep in it. So let's go back to our lesson now. Okay. And I will new share whiteboard. So we are at the Battle of Trench. Why did Rasulullah have to go for this kind of thing?
Oh.
So I told you the Quraysh, along with the other Medina, the other tribes around Medina, along with Jewish tribe, what did they do? They got together and they planned on attacking Medina. And how many men were there? How many men? 10,000 exactly. There were 10,000 men, 10,000 people ready to attack Medina. And how many people Medina? So let me write here, okay? So let's think that, you know, 10,000 men are outside. Okay. And how many people were there in Medina?
3,000.
3,000. Only 3,000 soldiers. Now Rasulullah was in command of that army. And then just imagine now what's going to happen. Usually this is 10, this is 3,000. What will happen? It's not a fair war, right? It's not a fair battle.
Muslims have not had many fair
battles. So one of Rasulullah's companion and friend, he told him that, you know, in other countries there is something called as a trench. In Arabic it is called as a khandaq. You know, that's why it's called as the Battle of Khandaq. It's called as a khandaq. Basically, you know, I showed you pictures, right? What happens is they dig the ground, which is like about, you know, 10 feet wide and about, like, you know, 10 feet deep around the city. And so what happens is, like, this 10,000 army cannot get in. And you know, the best part was Quraysh never knew about a trench before in their lives. So they were not ready, right? I mean, if you're ready for a trench, then you would have ladders or you would make bridges to go across it, right? Now the Quraysh came and they saw a trench around the city. And that trench took 7 days to make. You know, all these people in Medina, they went in. It was a very, very hard work, you know. I mean, you don't have like a, you know, how these days you have that machines, right? Soil diggers and everything. Rasulullah did not have that. So all people, they pitched in because they have to protect the city, they have to protect the Muslims, they have to protect Rasulullah. So they all worked together to make this trench, and it took them 7 days. And when the army of the Quraysh and the tribes came, they were surprised to look at the trench. They didn't know what to do. So you know what they do? What happens now? What do you think happens?
They can't get past.
They had to fight from the other side.
Rasulullah, you know what he did? Because he has to protect, he has to have men here, because what if to, you know, get into the trench and, you know, to come and take over. So many, you know, many Muslim warriors were like, you know, they were camped here. They were camped here, all the Muslim warriors, you know, they were camped here because they have to keep an eye out. Now I will, can you see my screen now?
Around the trench.
No.
Okay, let's see this one. All right, now makes sense what happened. What is this blue line?
Friend.
Trench.
This is a trench, exactly. These are the trenches that Rasulullah made. And if you look at the thing, like, you know, you look at the pink things here, they say these are the lava flows, okay? So these are like some open, you know.
Wait, there is lava?
Yeah, maybe from thousands and thousands of years ago.
Okay.
And then you see there are trees here. And this brown thing is basically your hillock or maybe hills. So what Rasulullah and the army did was, this is Medina. So they put all the women, children, the old people, the sick people here, and all the people who could fight, they all went here. And they made a ditch so that they were protecting the country, because, you know, they are protected here, right? If you see.
They surrounded themselves.
Say that again, Zach?
They surrounded themselves.
They surrounded themselves, right? Now, this Banu Qurayza is actually our tribe, which was good, which didn't plot against Rasulullah. They said, okay, you know what? We're going to be here. We're going to take care of you. We want to be good citizens, and you know, we will be on the side of our city, Medina. And now here we have the Quraysh, you know, all the tribes here who are marching towards Medina now. Now the Quraysh come here and then they see this trench. And they don't know what to do. So they're just camped. You know, they don't know. I mean, they don't want to leave, because if they leave, you know, the Muslims were like, yay, you know. But they were like, no, we're going to stay here. We're going to find a solution. We will take over Medina. Rosheen, can you hear me, Rosheen?
Yeah.
Okay. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Now, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think the Quraysh will cross the trench?
No.
No, I don't think they'll be
If
able.
the Quraysh are gonna attack the Muslims that are camping on the other end by shooting bow and arrows at them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they tried doing that. Absolutely. They tried doing the bow and arrow, but then, you know, this was too far away. They somehow could not. But, you know, there was one other thing that was happening. So the Quraysh, they surrounded the city for, you know, how long?
Months?
For a month, 1 month. And then you think, you know, for 1 month,
You just sit.
people cannot go to the city. You know, what if they run out of food? You know, usually Medina and Makkah, they were all like, you know, people used to trade a lot, right? What happens when you're locked in your house for like a month? Because what happens, like, you start eating everything in the house, in the pantry, in the fridge.
They need to ration their food.
And then, you know, whatever is in the freezer is gone. And then slowly what happens, like, you know, you have to go out and get the groceries, right? But if you're trapped in your house for a month, what happens?
All the food runs out.
You die of starvation.
You start losing food. I mean, there's nothing. You have to get out of the house. So now Quraysh was thinking that we cannot cross this stretch, but what we can do is let's just camp here. Let's not go. But then you see, Allah was on the Muslim side. Okay. Allah was on the Muslim side. And it was a month, it's almost like 27, 28 day. And it was a big sandstorm. And what happens in a sandstorm? Have you seen a sandstorm before?
All the sand blows around.
Mm-hmm.
And it just like it
So
killed.
then the Quraysh had to leave.
Had to leave.
Yeah, the Quraysh had to leave. The Quraysh had to leave. After a month of the siege, the Quraysh had to leave. But, before that, something happened. You know what happened?
What?
These guys were sitting here. They were not sitting quietly, They were plotting and plotting. They were figuring out how to get to the Muslims. So you know what they did here? They started sending spies all the way to here. And who's here?
Banu Qurayza.
Banu Qurayza, exactly. And who's Banu Qurayza?
The Jewish.
A Jewish tribe.
The Jewish tribe which pledged to help the Muslims, right? And that's why Rasulullah did not make a trench here. Otherwise, Rasulullah would have made a trench here too. But these guys, they said, we want to be good citizens and then we want to help you out.
So were they telling the truth?
Let's see what happens. So now Quraysh started, they were like, oh, we're going to give you a lot of gold. Oh, we're going to give you a lot of land. We're going to give you a lot of cattle. Help us out, like, come on, together we can do this. So what happened now? Banu Qurayza, what do you think? Banu Qurayza would be loyal or Banu Qurayza is going to break the...
I think they would be loyal.
I think they would be loyal.
How
Because
about
if
you?
they weren't loyal, then why would they not attack them in the first place?
Mm-hmm. Iman, what do you think?
Maybe I guess they were loyal.
Well, unfortunately, my dear kids, they were not loyal.
Oof.
Yes. So what happened now? They
attacked.
started attacking the Muslim women and children here. Now, since Medina and Rasulullah is far away from Medina, okay? This is like in the here, it's like showing like a tiny map. Let me open up another one and then I'll show you. Why can I not open it?
I think there's no.
Okay. Why is it opening in Paint? Can you see my picture?
No.
Yeah, I see you. I see a little person.
I don't see it.
Mm. Can you see it now?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I see it.
It's the
not
trench,
yet.
right? Another picture of the trench.
I
The
don't
what?
see it.
I see the same picture.
Oh no, I don't see it. It's still the same picture.
Okay,
Yeah.
new share, and then I will go at the new share. Okay. How about now?
Now
Yes.
You see it now?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So now you see this is the city of Medina. Okay, this is the city of the Medina. And then you have this lava flow here. And this is the trench that was made, and the Quraysh were camped here, right? Now, the earlier battle that we learned about was Uhud. This is the hills of Uhud. This is Medina here, if you look at something. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Next picture. The Banu Qurayza is right here. This is their place. Now, Rasulullah thought, since the Banu Qurayza, they pledged to help Muslims, he will be protected on this side. But Quraysh, they started sending people all the way around. So that, they wanted, because, there's no way they can enter from here. So they wanted entrance from here. So they thought, if Banu Qurayza can help. And I told you that these tribes were not like small tribes. They would have like about
How
500,000
could they enter though?
That is
Thousand
actually very
people.
smart. I just want to say that.
How could they enter?
Well, that's what happens in war. Say that again. Who
How
was-
could they enter? Because on the bottom it's there's the hillock and the tree blocks. And how could they enter inside?
Yeah, but then see, this is the place of, you still have these trees, right? I mean, you don't have to look at it like, this is not the actual picture, right?
Yeah.
Picture that I showed you, this is what we had, right? You have Banu Qurayza over here. Now, you said, they would be loyal, but unfortunately they were not loyal. So they were doing treason now. They were doing treason. And what they did was they started attacking the women and children and the old and the sick people here. When Rasulullah came to know about it, he sent 300 people to the city of Medina. Okay? And then you know what happened? This big storm came and
Wait, did they actually kill people?
yes.
Like the women and they killed the kids and the women and the old
Not all of them, not all of them, because our Muslim warriors, they came right on time. Not all of them, but then they were caught.
Oh, that's sad.
And they were
What's the
doing
lie?
treason.
Redhead.
So now what happened? The Quraysh, well, they sat for a month, and then the giant sandstorm came, so they all had to go. So they all went away. Alhamdulillah. But then, everybody was starving, it was a very, very hard time. We are sitting here and we are discussing it about them casually. But, it was a very, very hard and trying time for everybody. But Alhamdulillah, that time passed. So not many people died. Now, when he came here, you see, there were two tribes, right? Banu Nadir and Banu Qurayza. Banu Nadir was asked to, get exiled because, they were plotting against Rasulullah. Banu Qurayza, they pledged to be loyal, but, they betrayed Rasulullah at that
They
time.
lied.
They betrayed Rasulullah at the time of war, when they betrayed the Muslims.
They shouldn't have
The
trusted
Muslims
him.
needed them, right? And that is a very, very big crime. So now, Rasulullah, they were all brought in front of Rasulullah. And Rasulullah asked them, like, what do I do with you guys? Even then, Rasulullah was so patient. And the tribe, the leader of the tribe, they said, oh, I think, you know what? Since we are Jews, you're Muslims, you're going to be very unfair with us. So you will have to appoint a judge who we choose. Makes sense? Because Banu Qurayza thought, oh, now Rasulullah is going to take revenge on us. So maybe, if we have someone we know, then, we would want, our judge. They said, we want punishment from our book. Like they said, we are Jews, right? We read the Torah, so we want punishment from our book. We don't want your punishment. So what happened, it's very sad that this happened, but then that's what they chose. So they selected a person among themselves, like his name was Mu'ad, and he was the judge. He went over the scriptures. In the Torah, it was written, even now in Torah it is written that if you are doing treason, death penalty. Well, even if Rasulullah wanted to be kind, they brought that upon themselves, the Jewish tribe. But after that, this Jewish tribe was eliminated, it was just Muslims here in Medina. And after this the Battle of Ahzab or Battle of Khandaq or Battle of Trench, whatever you want to call it as, one thing came out of it. And what was that?
Wait, so nothing happened to the people who betrayed?
They brought the punishment upon themselves. They got death penalty because they said They said,
But didn't you say that they chose their own judge?
yes, they chose their own judge, and they said that the judge should give the punishment not from the Quran, from the Torah. So if they
Oh,
had,
and the Quran doesn't have the death penalty?
yes, if because you know it's up to Allah, and it would have Rasulullah would have been kind, like how Rasulullah made Banu Nadir leave, right? So Rasulullah would have said, like, you know, please leave the city. If you're plotting against the city, please leave. But these guys, they thought probably Muslims would be unfair because now Muslims are the enemy. So they said, like, we want a judge from our tribes, and we want punishment from, because you know they thought Rasulullah was not telling the truth. Only Rasulullah would come up with a big punishment. But it's sad, you know, they didn't see how Rasulullah treated the Banu Nadir, right? Just ask them to leave, you know, they can still live their life. So Banu Qurayza, they selected a person named Muad among themselves, and he was made the judge. And they said, you know, whatever is in the Torah, we're gonna take the punishment. And in the Torah, what was there in the Torah?
Death penalty.
Death penalty.
That's sad.
It's sad. It's sad. So, you know, had they listened to Rasulullah, you know, Rasulullah would have been.
Yeah, because like, why would they think that? Because he let the other people go and they did the same thing. So why would he wouldn't let them go?
But you know what happened after this whole battle of Trench? One thing came out, that Rasulullah was such a powerful figure. Rasulullah was so kind. I mean, even in this time, somebody's wanted to actually kill you, because Rasulullah always trusted Allah, right? Now, let me tell you why this surah is called a Surah Ahzab. It is called Surah Ahzab because, you know, at this time, the Surah Ahzab, the chapter of Ahzab was revealed. Also, in this surah, Allah praised Rasulullah. I mean, you guys have no idea what a great honor that is. The creator of the universe is actually praising Rasulullah. See, what do we say? When we do the salah, we say, Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. We are always praising Allah because, you know, He made everything. Now, Allah made Rasulullah, right? Allah created Rasulullah. And now Allah is actually praising Rasulullah in that. Isn't that amazing? It was a great honor that Allah bestowed on Rasulullah in Surah Ahzab. And it's a great honor, I mean, because of this, you know, Allah called him like beautiful names of Rasulullah that you can find. I had, let me look it up. There was this thing that I wanted to show you guys. Just a minute, and then I think it's some sort of okay, yeah. And I'm gonna start sharing my screen. Where's my... Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Is it saying loading and loading
Yes.
and loading? Okay, let's see. Battle of Ahzab. Okay, who would, Iman, can you read this?
The Battle of Ahzab goes by multiple other names. The Battle of the Trench and the Battle of the Confederates. The Battle of the Battle of the Khandaq.
Mm-hmm.
This battle consisted of 37 days siege of Yathrib, Medina.
Uh-huh. And this, I want Zaid to read this one, Zaid.
The Arabian and Jewish tribes were the ones laying siege to Yathrib. There were estimated amount of 10,000 Confederate soldiers in the battle.
What is the meaning of a Confederate?
It means people who betray their country.
No. Confederate is
Confederate is like,
an alliance, you know?
yeah, but like, see, Texas was part of the Confederate States of the USA, which meant they believed in slavery during the World War, American Revolution. So Confederate would be like an alliance that's attacking.
Okay, well, that's gonna be another homework. So find out what is the meaning of a Confederate, and what are the punishments of treasons in different countries, like Canada and America, and like if you're from England, then in England.
Wait, I know what a Confederate is.
Say that again.
A Confederate is someone who goes against a country, like they were once a part of something and then they left. Like in the First World War, America separated and there was Confederate, and then there were the United States and they fought with each other.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. If you're different, let this be homework. Give me examples of like countries, or if there are any battles where the Confederate they got together. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be homework, and another homework is gonna be the punishments of treason in different countries. Okay, that's a small homework, right? All right, go on, Zed, read it. So there were an estimated amount of
10,000 Confederate soldiers in the battle, and they were up against a mere 3,000 soldiers who were defending Yathrib.
What is Yathrib?
A city?
It's a city.
The city of Medina, right? Medina, it was named later, but it was called as Yathrib. Okay. Next.
Since the battle took place during the harsh winter months, it was even more difficult than it would have been under normal circumstances. This battle took place from late 626 to early 627.
I mean, late means like, if December and then January. So it was very cold. So that's what made it very, very hard. Okay, next. I want Musa to read this one. Musa.
Strategy. In every battle, the believers had fought so far, but Badr in 624, Uhud in 625. They had a strategy to defend themselves in a clever way. During the Battle of Badr, they had surrounded the wells but had deprived their opponents of water. And during that,
Can we pause, Musa? So now you see him in Rasulullah. He was such a kind person. Like if you just cover the wells and do not give water to the enemies, they're not going to survive. Like they will get thirsty. It's not like they had like portable water bottles now, right? Yeah. So Rasulullah was kind even to the enemy. So we should never forget that. So we should always remember that Rasulullah was even kind to his enemies. Go on.
And during the Battle of Uhud, they had used the neighboring hills as cover for their archers. During the battle, their aim was to render the enemy's cavalry soldiers on horseback useless during the fight.
Yeah, so during the battle of the Khandaq or the trench, so if you have like people on the horse, the horse cannot jump over the trench, right? So the horse is like, okay, now what do we do? We're stuck. So without killing anyone, without harming anyone, this was like a very clever strategy, right? Okay, now I want Laiba to read this one.
Preparing messages hurried to warn Muhammad saw of the approaching army.
This means sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay.
Oh, okay. Of the approaching army. This army, led by Abu Sufyan, consisted of about 10,000 men and 600 men. on horseback and camelback.
Mhm.
Within 6 days, all able-bodied residents of Yathrib dug a trench along the northern side of Yathrib, since the other side had natural defenses in place, hills and trees. Compared to the oncoming army, the resistance army consisted of 3,000 males over the age of 14. The children and women were safe in the heart of Yathrib.
We saw the picture, right? So we know, right?
Yes.
Okay. Next. I want Abdullah to read this one. Abdullah Amir. Good brother, is he there?
What?
Laiba, is your brother there?
Mm-mm.
Why is he?
He doesn't like to read. Like, he doesn't like to talk during the classes.
Yeah, but can you read, Abdullah? You have to read. This is not
Okay, I'll ask him. Wait.
okay.
He said he doesn't want to.
Oh, please, Abdullah, just once. Pretty, please.
Mm-mm. He said he just doesn't want to. I don't know why, but
Okay, I think I will
you
have
want
to,
me to read it?
I will have to tell your mom then, okay? I'm going to tell your mom.
Okay.
I will text her. Roisin, can you read this one? Oh, okay, that Abdullah was not reading.
What happened as the tribes besieged Yathrib? The residents of Yathrib dug a trench around their city to try to make it more difficult for Arabs and Jews. The Arabs involved in this war consisted of Qurayshi tribes who had previously gone against the believers. Alongside the Jews, they attacked the people of Yathrib. When the Quraysh asked whether their religion of idolatry was better than Islam, the Jews said yes to persuade them to join the battle. It also stated, the Quran, haven't you seen how those who had been given a share of scripture believe in idols and shaitan, and say the disbelievers are better guided than the believers?
See? Even Allah said, what they were plotting. So how did they pursue the Quraysh? They told Quraysh, oh Quraysh, you guys worship the idols, right? It is better than Islam. I mean, you think worshipping stones is better than Islam? Allah's creation.
No.
These people are worshipping Allah's creation.
A creation of
Yeah.
somebody that somebody else is actually.
Is class over?
Yeah. Okay. Now I want Maisha to read this one. Maisha, we already seen this picture, right? So do you want me to go to the next slide?
Sure.
Yes or no? Everybody?
Yeah.
You understood, right? How you made the trench, where the Quraysh was camped and everything? Okay. Now, Maisha, read this one.
Banu
Qurayza.
Qurayza was originally trusted by people of Yathrib, seeing as how they provided supplies necessary to build the trench. However, with the going of the Jews, backstabbed the believers and attacked them from the southern front. Feeling betrayed, the believers sieged the tribe for 25 days after initial battle was over.
So what happened was, after they attacked the Muslims, they were also, sieged. Siege is basically where, like, how Medina, the people of Medina was, they were surrounded by the enemy. Even the Muslims, they surrounded the tribe for 25 days.
Is class over?
Mariam, can you read this one?
Okay. Result.
When
the forces of the believers and the Yathribs overcame the army led by Abu Sufyan, this meant a lot for both of them, and the Quraysh in a political sense. People started losing trust that the Meccans would be able to lose the war. And this was when the Muhajirs gained a much stronger foothold amongst the Ansars of Yathrib. The battle was the start of the wider spread of the message.
So what happened? Now, earlier they thought like Quraysh was very, very powerful, right? They thought like every time, because, Quraysh came and fought Badr, Quraysh came and fought Uhud, Quraysh came for the battle of Khandaq or the battle of Trench. So now they lost. And that's when people like, no, I don't think Quraysh is going to do well now. After this battle, what happened? The start of a wider spread of the message. Okay. All right.
Can you go back? I have a question. So it said right here that people would start losing trust that the Meccans would be able to. That means that people would lose trust that the Meccans would. So people believe that they would win. That's what it's saying.
Yeah, I think this is wrong. What this is saying is wrong. So basically, losing the trust that the Meccans would be able to win the war, And this was when the Mujahids gained a much stronger foothold amongst the Ansars of Yathrib. This battle was the start of the spread of the message. Okay, guys, so did you all understand today's...
Yeah.
Did you enjoy today's class?
Yes.
Battle of Azab.
And I probably do remember.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to my class today. Inshallah, I'll see you next week.
Yay.
Okay, next Sunday, inshallah. Any questions?
No.
No questions, right? Okay, you all have a wonderful week. Allah Hafiz.
Office.
Love this.